Hey everybody, this is Deborah Richmond and I am again here today to show you a quilt kit that I have just put together. Actually, a friend of mine has put this together and I wanted to show it to you and demonstrate to you how easy this is. This is a kit that is done by Craftsy. It's put out by Craftsy. It's called the Starry Irish Chain. And it is just one of my favorites. It's the reason why I really wanted to show you this is because, again, it's one of these patterns that's really simple but looks more complex than it is. So let me show you how simple it is. First, let me show you this is made of 2 blocks only, and I'm going to show you what those blocks are. Okay, so these are the 2 blocks that this quilt is made of. Now let me just show you just by quickly placing it onto the quilt, and I'm going to show you that this right here you can see is the star, and this repeats over and over again in the quilt. So it's here, and it's here, and it's up there. And then this second block, which really pulls it all together, is this block right here. So do you see it? It's a simple 9 patch that has a border around it. So by combining these 2 blocks over and over again, we get this nice running pattern. Let me start by showing you the 9 patch block, how this goes together. This is definitely a pattern that I would recommend to beginners because it's something that is very easy to put together. Even though there are seeming to be a lot of pieces in this quilt, you're not going to be cutting little squares apart and sewing them back together. You're going to be doing this by strips, and let me show you how that works. So here are some of the basic units that makes up this quilt. Here is the line in the middle. Here is the block on the top and on the bottom. So you can see we have darker colors here, lighter colors here, making up the block in the middle. Again, I don't cut these apart as squares and sew them back together. Rather, what we're going to be using is strips. So you can see here is one strip unit where we have cut these pieces from it. So 2 of these we cut off of this strip, and then by placing them in the right places, they become part of the block. The same thing has happened with, let me show you, the strip in the middle. It is a very simple strip of the light colors on the side, the blue in the middle, and by slicing off cuts here, we very easily can cut these strips that become the middle section. So that's really a much faster way to put that together. The same thing then happens with your border pieces. These are going to be, again, strips that are 3 long pieces of fabric sewed together that we now will cut into these slices. And so we're going to put this slice here, and this one here, and then there's also smaller pieces that go here. All of the instructions are in the pattern. When you sign up for this kit, when you order it, the pattern will be in your folder in Craftsy, so you'll be able to print it right from Craftsy. There are several pages to this pattern, and these are very good step-by-step instructions with lots of diagrams to follow. And then now I want to show you that star block. Again, a few more pieces in this block, but not a difficult block, and let me show you how this goes together. Okay, so here is the star block, and this is where it's broken down into units, and let me just show you very simply. I don't have all the units, but you can see where they're going to go. We're going to have small 4 patches that are the corners. 1 here, 2, 3, and 4 on the corners. And then we're going to have 4 of these points. It's essentially a triangle block with 2 triangles on the side, and there are going to be 4 of those which will make up the star. In the center is just 1 solid block of the contrasting color, and these units will make up this particular block. Now the instructions, I'm not going to go into detail as far as how you put these particular pieces together, but again, the instructions are very, very good, especially when it comes to these pieces. This looks like it's going to be difficult, but if you follow the instructions, it's absolutely not. What you start with is a square, and this is foundation piecing. So if you haven't done any foundation piecing, this is a great place to start. If you have done foundation piecing, this will not be difficult for you. Now I'm going to show you, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this on the camera, but this is, you get a sheet of these foundation pieces in your pattern, and you can print as many as you want. So you can play with this, and if you're not familiar with foundation piecing, follow the instructions, try a few of them first until you're getting the hang of it. I think if you've never done it before, you might want to try a couple of them before you start to get to use some scraps and try a few first. But you can print as many of these as you want. from your pattern, but you're essentially in the end only going to need 4 for each block. And so just to give you just kind of a quick rundown of how this works is you're going to be starting with a square of the background fabric. You're going to be placing this. You're going to cut out your foundation squares from the papers. You're going to place your block underneath that paper. The paper is going to stay on top, and then you're going to be sewing the pieces underneath it. Again, the best way to really go through this is step by step with the instructions, which are very good in the pattern. So again, I do recommend this pattern for someone who is a beginner. It's a great way to try out foundation piecing. It's a great way to get a little better at your foundation piecing if you've already done some before. It makes a really nice quilt that is much more complex looking than it actually is. This particular pattern does come in a couple of different colors, as you can see. The one behind me is a very light colored background, and then the one that I'm showing you for demo is a little bit darker background, so you have a couple choices when you order this kit. For information on how to order the kit from Craftsy, I'm going to have the information below. If you are watching this video on YouTube, you will see a link to go to my website, and if you're watching this from the website, you're going to have the information just below in the show notes. Thank you for joining me.
And be sure to subscribe to our channel. You can do so here by clicking the subscribe button. That way you'll find out about new videos as they become available.
Again, we say Ose. Ose, can you see?